Here's something absolutely mind-blowing that's unfolding right before your eyes. The equinox has thrown its door wide open, not just a crack, but a full-on, no-holding-back invitation. And here's the wild part. You've already stepped through it, whether you meant to or not. You might not have noticed the exact moment your foot crossed that threshold, but it's happened, and the energy's already swirling around you like a storm picking up speed. But here's where it gets really crazy. Most people out there, your neighbors, your co-workers, the strangers you pass on the street, have no idea what's barreling down on them. They're too caught up in the relentless grind of everyday life, glued to their screens, scrolling through social media, or stressing over bills and grocery lists, completely blind to the seismic shift that's already underway. If you're here, reading these words, though, something's different about you. Something's clicking into place. There's a flicker inside you, a restless little spark that's starting to glow brighter, warming you from the inside out. You're beginning to feel it, aren't you? A tingling sense that something enormous is on its way, something that doesn't wait for permission or an RSVP. Tomorrow, March 20th, is the grand finale, the peak of this cosmic wave. But don't kid yourself. The build-up's been simmering for days, maybe even weeks, gathering strength like a tsunami pulling back before it crashes. This isn't some soft, sneaky change that tiptoes past unnoticed. It's a full-throated roar, bold and unapologetic, shaking the ground beneath your feet and rattling the windows of your world in ways that demand you sit up and pay attention, ready or not. People everywhere are picking up on this vibe, even if they can't quite put their finger on what's happening. They're caught in its undertow without a clue. Some are feeling this strange, magnetic tug deep in their gut, like an unseen hand pulling them towards something massive, teetering on the brink of a moment so big it could swallow them whole, like standing at the top of a roller coaster, stomach dropping before the plunge. Others are getting slammed with weird waves of exhaustion, dragging their feet through the day like they're wading through mud, or they're hit with these random jolts of energy that surge out of nowhere, leaving them buzzing and restless, unable to sit still. Then there are those eerie, almost magical moments, coincidences that line up so perfectly they feel scripted, like the universe is dropping breadcrumbs with a knowing smirk. And here's the part that'll make your pulse race and your eyes widen. A colossal opportunity is about to crash into your life. Not just some small win, but a life-altering chance that could rewrite everything you thought you knew about where you're headed. It's not a maybe. It's coming, fast and fierce, ready to land right in your hands. But there's a hitch, a big one. You've got to spot it when it shows up. Most people won't even clock it. They'll be too distracted, too skeptical, or too stuck in their heads to reach out and grab it. This is just the opening scene, though. The first ripple of something much deeper. There's a hidden truth lurking beneath all this. A secret most don't even suspect exists, and when you finally peel back the curtain and see it for yourself, it'll hit you like a freight train, shaking you to your core in a way that's equal parts exhilarating and downright unnerving. Every equinox carries some serious weight, no question about it. It's a turning point baked into the rhythm of the year, a moment where the world takes a breath. But this one's in a league of its own, like it's been juiced up with extra cosmic horsepower, ready to blow the roof off everything you thought an equinox could be. The sun's sliding into Aries this time around, and that flips the script entirely on what you might expect. Normally, an equinox is all about balance, day and night splitting the clock down the middle, a serene kind of harmony settling over everything like a soft blanket. But Aries doesn't play that game. It's not here to chill out or meditate in the quiet. Aries is fire, pure, blazing, take no prisoners energy that charges in like a wildfire tearing through dry grass. It's movement, it's drive. It's a kick in the pants that refuses to let you stand still. So what's happening right now isn't just about finding some peaceful middle ground. It's a full-on ignition switch, a cosmic spark lighting a fuse that's ready to blow up your plans in the best way possible. This equinox is thrusting you into overdrive, shoving you toward rapid, heart-pounding progress instead of letting you coast. It's as if the universe tossed you a flaming torch and yelled, "Go now." The air around you buzzing with heat and possibility, daring you to take that energy and run with it, to transform into something bigger, bolder, and braver than you were even a day ago. Before we plunge headfirst into the thick of this cosmic chaos, I've got a quick favor to ask. 3 little actions to crank up the energy and lock in this moment. First, hit that like button on the video. It's a tiny click, but it sends a ripple of intention out into the world, amplifying what's already brewing. Second, smash that subscribe button so you're plugged into whatever comes next, because trust me, you don't want to miss the follow-up. And third, drop the number 777 in the comments below. There's something electric about that number, a kind of mystical juice that charges this whole message with a surge of power. While you're at it, pass this along to someone you care about. Shoot them a text, send the link, whatever works, and give them a shot at catching this wave too. A chance to wake up to the same energy that's tugging at you. Now, let's dive back into the deep end. Cast your mind back to those jaw-dropping solar flares that lit up the sky a few months ago. Those X-class beasts that punched through Earth's magnetic field like a cosmic sledgehammer. What if those weren't just random light shows, dazzling but meaningless? Picture this instead. Those flares were the opening act, the first rumbles of a much bigger performance, laying down the groundwork for what's unfolding right now. Imagine those solar waves soaking into the planet like rain into parched soil, shifting its frequencies bit by bit. And now, with the equinox rolling in, all that pent-up energy is bursting free, cracking open the Earth's crust like a dam splintering under pressure, flooding everything with raw, untamed force. People are already caught in the aftershocks, even if they don't have the words to name it. They're stumbling through this energy like sleepwalkers, feeling their way in the dark. Some are having dreams so intense they wake up gasping, their minds reeling as if their subconscious is shouting secrets they're not ready to hear. Others are trudging through a mental haze, their thoughts foggy and sluggish, or they're picking up these odd little tremors in their bodies, pulses and tingles they can't pin down, like static crackling under their skin. Is this the lingering echo of those solar flares, still bouncing around the planet's energy field? Or is it a flashing neon sign pointing to something even bigger lurking just beyond the horizon? Here's the raw truth. Balance doesn't drop into your lap like a gift on your doorstep during the equinox. You've got to claw your way to it, wrestle it into place through the muck and mess of life. Sure, tomorrow day and night hit that perfect 50-50 split, a fleeting moment of equilibrium, but the journey to that point is anything but smooth. If your world feels like it's spinning out of control right now, if your emotions are a tangled mess, spiking and crashing, or if old ghosts from your past are clawing their way back into your head, there's a reason behind every bit of it. Before you can step into that clear space of harmony, all the chaos you've shoved down has to come roaring up. Every buried grudge, every quiet regret, spilling out like a shaken-up bottle of soda, fizzing over the rim. That's why so many folks are wandering around right now feeling like they've lost the plot. One part of them straining to leap into whatever's next, full of fire and ambition, while another part's tangled in the sticky webs of yesterday, tripping over memories and what-ifs. It's not meaningless noise. The equinox is a cosmic janitor, sweeping out the clutter to make room for something solid. The trick is to stop fighting it. Let it flow. Let it wash over you like a river carving a new path. Most people do the opposite. They dig in, white-knuckling the past like it's their last lifeline, terrified to loosen their grip on what's familiar, even if it's dragging them down. But here's the deal. The quicker you drop that baggage, the sooner you'll land on steady ground, feet planted, head clear. It's like a body detox. Yeah, you feel like garbage while the toxins leach out, sweaty and shaky and miserable, but that's the signal the real healing's kicking in, stripping away the junk to leave you lighter, stronger. And here's the part that'll blow your mind wide open. This equinox isn't just hitting a reset button on your energy. It's shaking awake something you've let slip into the shadows for way too long. Think back, way back, to when you trusted your gut like it was your North Star. No questions asked. You'd get these flashes, little knowings that turned out right. Pick up vibes from people or rooms without a single word, and your dreams were so vivid they felt like coded messages from some other realm, begging you to decode them. Life hammered that out of you over time. People laughed it off, called it childish or weird, and you started to believe them, stuffing those instincts into a box and locking it tight. But those gifts, they didn't vanish into thin air. They just curled up and went dormant, waiting patiently in the wings for the right moment to stretch awake. Now, with this equinox blasting through, they're stirring, blinking into the light, ready to reclaim their spot in your life. For some, that's a straight-up adrenaline shot, heart racing, eyes bright, every nerve humming with the thrill of what's possible. For others, it's a slow creep of unease, like a shadow shifting just out of sight. Because what if you've been missing signals for years, brushing them off as noise, and now they're pounding on your door, demanding to be let in? This energy's only ramping up as the days tick by, a rising crescendo you can't dodge or outrun. If you're suddenly buzzing with restless drive, powering through tasks like a machine, or your brain's firing a million thoughts a minute, it's not some fluke. It's the equinox pumping you full of rocket fuel, daring you to burn bright. Most folks waste it, though. They feel that spark flicker to life, but smother it with endless scrolling or second-guessing, only to kick themselves later when the chance slips through their fingers. Not you, maybe. If you've got a dream simmering, a plan half-formed, or an itch to shake things up, this is your shot to strike while the iron's red-hot. This isn't just your personal wake-up call. It's a global alarm clock blaring across the planet, shaking millions out of their stupor all at once. The equinox is flipping a switch, not just for you or the guy next door, but for countless souls caught in its orbit, whether they know it or not. For some, it'll slip in gentle and quiet, like the first light of dawn creeping over the hills. Little coincidences piling up until they can't deny the pattern. Their intuition sharpening like a blade. Their dreams whispering truths that stick with them all day. For others, it's a gut punch, a lightning strike out of a clear sky. Old habits and comforts cracking apart overnight. Their whole world tilting as they realize their job, their friends, their routines don't fit anymore, like shoes they've outgrown. They'll start asking the heavy stuff. Who am I really? What's this life even about? And once that question takes root, there's no yanking it out. You can't unsee the truth once it's staring you in the face. Can't crawl back into the warm, fuzzy cocoon of ignorance, like trying to dive back into a dream after the morning sun's burned it away. The whole planet's in on this shift, too. Time's warping, speeding up so a month blips by like a week, and people everywhere are blinking awake, poking holes in the status quo, restless for something deeper, truer, more alive. This equinox isn't just a seasonal handoff. It's a hard line drawn in the dirt, old cycles collapsing into dust as new ones claw their way into being, raw and unformed. You might feel the ground quaking under you, safe haven splintering, people drifting out of your orbit like leaves on the wind, opportunities you leaned on fading into smoke. But don't freak out. It's not a wrecking ball. It's a rebirth, a chance to build fresh. Everything's hitting fast forward, a whirlwind that's spinning you dizzy, but it's also dragging you inward, forcing you to sit with yourself and figure out what you actually want, what lights you up. You've got two roads stretching out ahead. Clutch the past till your hands ache, fighting tooth and nail to keep things as they were, making this whole shift a slog. Or let go, surrender to the current, and ride it to heights you can't even picture yet. So you in? Toss "I am ready" into the comments and yell it loud enough for the universe to hear. Mean it with every fiber of you. This energy's a double-barreled blast. It's waking up your gut instincts, sure, but it's also lighting a fire under you to move, to create, to chase that thing you've been chewing on for weeks or months or years. This isn't a time to kick back and watch from the sidelines. The window's cracked open, but it's not staying that way forever, and the clock's ticking louder every second. How you handle this energy is the key. It's the difference between a fizzle and a full-on transformation that reshapes your future. Most people will feel the buzz humming through them but choke. They'll spot the opening and freeze, sense the shift, but cling to their cozy ruts, too scared to leap. Others will snatch it with both hands, run full tilt into the unknown, and watch their lives twist into something wild and unrecognizable, a story they'll tell for years. This isn't just an equinox, it's a do-over with your name scrawled across it in bold, messy ink. Take a long, slow breath. Let this vibe sink deep into your bones. It's pulsing through you, rewriting the script, and nothing, not one damn thing, is going back to how it was before. You'll start noticing the weirdness soon. Friends acting off, suddenly spilling their souls about stuff they'd never touch with a 10-foot pole, like the equinox flipped a switch in them too. Strangers might catch you off guard, striking up chats about life's big mysteries out of nowhere, their eyes bright with questions. And keep your eyes peeled. You'll catch 222 and 333 popping up all over the place, on your phone screen. A crumpled receipt, a random street sign. It's not dumb luck. It's the universe sliding you a note. 222's your signal. Balance is locking in. The timing's perfect. You're right where you're meant to be. No question. 333's the push. Things are speeding up. Your dreams are closing in fast. So strap in and get ready. As this equinox energy keeps surging, you might start noticing the world around you shifting in ways that feel both surreal and electric. Like the air itself is humming with possibility. People you've known forever could suddenly seem different, as if they're shedding old skins right in front of you. Your laid-back buddy might start asking about meditation, or your skeptical aunt could drop some offhand comment about feeling vibes she can't explain. It's not just them either. Random encounters are about to get weirdly meaningful, like the cashier at the corner store striking up a conversation about dreams, or a stranger on the bus locking eyes with you and saying something that sticks in your head all day. This isn't coincidence. It's the equinox rippling out, waking up threads of connection you didn't even know were there. You're part of something bigger now, a web lighting up across the planet, and it's pulling everyone into its orbit, some kicking and screaming, others diving in with wide-eyed wonder. The best part, you don't have to force it. Just keep your eyes open, and you'll see the signs stacking up like breadcrumbs leading you somewhere new. And here's where it gets even wilder. This isn't just a personal shakeup. It's a launch pad for something you've been dreaming about, something you've maybe kept on the back burner for too long. That project you've been sketching out in your head, the one you talk about late at night when the world's quiet, or that big, scary change you've been circling, like moving cities, switching jobs, or finally telling someone how you feel. The equinox is handing you a megaphone and a spotlight, daring you to step up and make it real. It's not just about feeling the energy. It's about doing something with it, turning that restless buzz into action that echoes. Most people will let it slip through their fingers, too afraid or too lazy to move. But you've got a shot here to be different, to ride this wave and build something solid. The clock's ticking, though. This isn't a someday deal. It's a now or never push. And the universe isn't known for giving rain checks. Whatever you've been holding back, whatever's been whispering in the corners of your mind, this is the moment to let it loose and see where it takes you. But don't get it twisted. This isn't all smooth sailing and cosmic hugs. There's a flip side that's just as real. As the equinox strips away the old, it's going to drag some shadows into the light. Stuff you've ignored, shoved down, or pretended wasn't there. Old fears might creep up, tapping you on the shoulder when you least expect it. Or a memory you thought was buried could hit you like a sucker punch, leaving you raw and reeling. It's not punishment. It's part of the deal. Before you can step into this new version of you, the baggage has to unpack itself, messy and loud. The trick is to face it, not flinch. Stare it down, feel it. Let it pass through you like a storm rolling out to sea. If you dodge it or try to outrun it, it'll just keep chasing you, heavier each time. But if you let it break over you, you'll come out the other side lighter, clearer, ready for whatever's next. This is your chance to shed what's been weighing you down. Don't waste it trying to glue the past back together when it's already halfway out the door. Something massive is barreling toward you. A breakthrough you've been aching for. A fix to a knot you've been picking at. An answer you've chased through sleepless nights for months. The equinox swept the roadblocks out of your way. Bulldozed the junk that's been holding you back, but it's on you to grab it. It's not going to plop into your lap with a bow on top. It might not look like you pictured it. Maybe it's rough around the edges, or it hits too fast, or it feels too huge to wrap your arms around. But that's the test, the moment of truth. Do you jump in head first, or do you hesitate, let it slip past? What you decide in the next handful of days locks in your path, sets the tone for what's coming. This energy's like wet clay right now, soft, messy, yours to shape into new roads, new possibilities, but it's hardening fast, locking into place whether you're ready or not. What you do today, tomorrow, this week, could rewrite your whole year, maybe your whole damn life. Ripples stretching out further than you can see from here. The portal's wide open, gaping and alive, but it's got a sell-by date. and it's creeping closer every minute. What's your next move?